Hello, hi guys. Subhamaren this side from my analytics school. Welcoming back you to the interview experience series. Today we will come covering the company named Navi. We have with us Subhadeep Mandal. He will be graduating this year from IIT Kharagpur. He is currently pursuing a dual degree in electrical engineering from IIT Kharagpur only. He was also a part of Mass 101 batch last year, and he converted one of the top-notch job in analytics domain, basically with Navi Analytics. Probably it pays around more than 25 LPA in this domain. So definitely we will get to learn a lot from Subhadeep's experience. So Subhadeep, can you brief a bit about yourself to our students?
So hello, this is Subhadeep Mandal, and and currently I'm at final year, and I will graduate in a few days from IIT Kharagpur. I cracked a job at Navi as a business analyst, during my placements, actually, I got a lot of help from the entire mass team, and it they helped me to prepare a lot. And during my placement preparation and interviews, the tests I gave, I uh, I cleared most of them, and I got shortlisted in around 8 to 10 companies. And out of them, Navi was my second interview that I got and converted. So first I couldn't convert, unluckily, and second one I converted. So yeah, that's
That's great.
about.
Yeah, definitely our students will learn from your experience, how you converted and how you got rejected. Both the experiences are important.
Yeah, sure.
Before moving
So
forward, let's not why not we discuss about the recruitment process of the most sought out company, which is Navi Analytics, and what will be your suggestion for the students to crack this company?
yeah, sure. So Navi came at our campus for three roles. They were data scientist, analyst, and SD. So I appeared for two of them. They were analyst and data scientist. So the analyst coming to the analyst test, the analyst test consisted of 45 questions, 45 MCQ questions. They were of aptitude, and that were to be done in 40 minutes. And the data science test also consisted of the same number of aptitude questions, and it also the data science section included of three coding questions. That was the data science part. And in the analytics, from our campus, around 1,500 students appeared for the test, and out of them, 130 students were shortlisted for the interview. And there were two rounds of interviews actually. And in the test, there were 45 questions. So I solved around 35 to 40 questions, and it was good enough to get me shortlisted. And around 130 people were shortlisted for the analytics interview. So actually, before the interview happened, they had circulated a Google form for to give the preference whether you want to 1, 2, 3, like SD data science, SD data science analytics. So which profile you would prefer the most? So I went for analytics as it was my strongest point, and I had prepared for 6 months for analytics role only. And so I went for that, and luckily I got shortlisted there. So among 130 people, and the entire interview process started on 2nd December, 12 a.m. And so there were a lot of candidates, 130 around. And so the interview process went started at 12, and my chance of first round came at 1 a.m. And then one it first round continued for around 40 minutes, and then my second round started from around 3 a.m. So it also went for 45 to 50 minutes. And then after two rounds of interviews, immediately I got the on-spot offer. And so that's all about that.
Okay, fine. So can you brief a bit more about the test pattern and your personal interview experience? What were the most important questions according to you?
Yeah. So the test pattern, as I told, it included of 45 questions that were to be solved in 40 minutes. They were around easy to medium level, with topics focused on LR, DI, English were Bharp was a bit less, and more focus was on quant. Specifically, the sections that I remember was there were questions from mixture and allegation, ratio proportion, time and work, speed distance time, and also simple interest and compound interest. So these were the topics that were focused the most, and luckily I could solve around 35 to 40 of them because I gave a lot of tests from the mass platform, which helped me to practice it regularly and in a stipulated time. And yeah, there I got the practice enough to solve multiple questions in a short period of time. And I think that helped me a lot to crack 35 to 40 questions in that 40 minutes interval. And yeah, that was enough. And coming to my interview experience, so the first round of interview started with initially my introduction, and then the interviewer went through my CV, and my CV consisted of three interns. Out of the three, two were of one was business analyst and the other was data analyst, my summer intern. And so my business analyst intern was at top, and so the interviewer grilled me on it. She asked me that what I had done, what work had I done, and what I had to do if she gave me a problem statement also related to my internship. And then she asked me to solve it, that whether you can solve, how will you solve this problem if you had faced this problem. So like that it went, and she was pretty much impressed with the internship that I had did and the work that I had did during my internship. And she grilled me enough on my internship, and then she was satisfied with whatever work I had done. And yeah, it was a relevant work. And then she shifted on some probability. So basically, I was given a probability. First, I was asked to state Bayes theorem in probability. So Bayes theorem I had remembered a bit, so I wrote the formula and explained. And then she also gave me a problem on Bayes theorem to solve, which I also was able to solve. And then after that, she gave me around three data interpretation questions. She had brought a sheet with herself, and she gave me three data interpretation questions, which I had to solve, and I solved three of them. Those three were of CAT level, so they were decent enough questions, and I solved them. So and she asked me another puzzle, which was a bit uncommon kind, but I took some time and then I solved the puzzle. So yeah, this was my first interview, and then I finally got the nod from her, green signal from her that I qualified the first round of interview, and then I was given the chance to go for the second round of interview. So second round of interview also I was in the waiting line, and finally I got the chance for the second round of interview. So second round of interview was a bit different from the first one, considering the fact that here I was not asked about CV and other things. So CV grilling was done in the first round of interview. So in the second round of interview, the interviewer mostly focused on like how comfortable I was with numbers and how comfortable I was with mathematics. Because from an analyst point of view, you must be familiar with the tools, but more importantly, you must be familiar with mathematics, and you must be good with numbers, like how to deal with numbers, what insights you will get from this number, this data. So yeah, so that was the main thing that the interviewer was trying to stress upon. So he asked me initially, like he just threw a guesstimate at me, and he asked me like to predict the number of tube lights at IIT Kharagpur campus. So this was the exact estimate that was asked me. So yeah, I solved it. So he liked my process, and in the meantime, he told, okay, I'm satisfied with your process. And then after that, I was asked a bit unorthodox questions. Like he was mainly trying to check my mathematical sense, like how much I can estimate how properly. So he few questions at me like how many tiles are there in this room? So what is the area of this room without counting the tiles? He told me that without counting the tiles, he predict how many tiles are there in this room, how many marbles are there on this floor.
Yes.
Then he told me to calculate the area of this room. So like that, different questions were asked me, and somehow I applied my a bit logic, and then I tried to answer them. And okay, I could give some answers. Some where I faltered, but he was more or less happy with my answer. and then he gave me a case study like uh, on the Navi app, from the Navi app, that if a uh, like he asked me to build a machine learning model so that I can predict the number of so that I can predict whether to give a loan to a person or not. Like he asked me to build a classification model. So what are the data points that I had to consider if I had to build a machine learning model? So I was asked to tell the data points. So there I applied some logic and my different conclusions about a person. I placed myself in the seat of a person who is asking for loan, and then I solved that. Yeah,
Oh,
so that one, and then finally I was asked about like some HR questions. HR, like the sense, what is your strength, and what is your weakness that mostly you would like to what is your weakness that mostly you would like to overcome in some point of time. So yeah, so I was honest and I said what was my weakness, and he was also pretty happy to see my honesty. And finally he told me that what was he looking during the interview. So he told that he's okay with the tools, whatever I know. So I wasn't asked any technical questions related to tools like SQL and all. He said that you have done enough work, so you must know SQL and everything. That is okay. But the most important skill that he was checking was that of the communication skill. So throughout the interview, he was checking my communication skill, like how properly I could convey my ideas or different strategies and frame a answer or present an answer to him. So that was the main skill that he was looking for in the entire interview. Yeah, that's all.
okay, that was really quite descriptive and quite elaborative, Subhadeep. To sum it up, there was a placement test of 45 questions in 40 minutes. If you solve about 35 questions, there's good chance of shortlisting. And then there were two rounds of interviews, which Subhadeep already explained. Thanks a lot. Our viewers might get help from these experiences. Moving forward, what technical skills or language are most important for these kind of roles, and how candidates can demonstrate their proficiency in the same?
Okay. So moving forward, the most important technical skill that I would like to focus on is MySQL. MySQL is must. MySQL is must in your CV if you are targeting for analytics profile. Apart from that, my Excel is also mandatory. Microsoft Excel is mandatory. So, like different functions in Excel, like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and pivot tables. So these are most oftenly asked in interviews. I prepared them thoroughly. These and Apart from that, Python is also important. So you must be familiar with tools like must be familiar with libraries like Matplotlib, Pandas, and a bit of like Seaborn also. So yeah, these are important, and along with that, you must be familiar with a bit of, not a bit of, a good amount of statistics. Statistics are also important actually, and with that, a bit amount of machine learning knowledge is good to go. I feel. Yeah,
Oh,
that is
okay,
about the thing.
that's great. uh, what will be your suggestions on resume, and which section of resume you feel is most important during interviews?
Yeah. So during interviews, I feel that the maximum focus of the interviewer goes into the internship. So internships are the first priority. If you have good amount of internship, then the interviewer will most likely grill on that. And apart from that, if there is a time left, then he will go to the projects and ask questions about that. So that's all. You must be thorough with the internship that you have done.
Okay, fine. So what common mistakes do candidates make during interview process, and how can they avoid them? Like you also mentioned, you missed one of your interviews. So what do you feel are the mistakes done by the candidates?
Yeah. So the mistakes that I made was I was my first interview was at EXL. So like the thing was that in EXL I was a bit overconfident that yeah, I will definitely crack it. I will definitely crack it. So I was a bit overconfident. So the interviewer understood that thing, that this guy is overconfident. So he asked me puzzles that were a bit I will not say out of the box, but a bit different with what I prepared. So that was the mistake I felt, that never show off near your interviewer. That is a big mistake that I did during my first interview. And the second is like, don't don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like, keep calm. Means whatever the question, you may be able to answer it or may not answer it. So everyone is a human being, right? We may not answer every question that is thrown to us. So yeah, that's okay if you are not able to answer a question. So yeah, I was a bit puzzled during my first interview that I couldn't answer this puzzle, that puzzle. So yeah, that went wrong, and luckily I rectified both these mistakes during my second interview, and I
Okay,
looked at.
that's good. That's good. What tips or strategies can a candidate use to answer the technical questions most effectively?
Tips and strategies, yeah. Tips and strategies are for technical questions, I would say, in interview, you can be asked questions based on SQL. So yeah, practice of SQL questions thoroughly is a good tip that I want to give to my juniors if they are preparing for analyst role. So SQL and Python practice is a must actually, and technical technical questions can also be on machine learning and statistics, and also the probability part, like that was asked to me, Bayes theorem. So getting the concepts revised thoroughly is also important for every candidate, I feel, especially the theoretical concepts. So questions must be revised before the interview. Actually, a
Okay,
sheet can be made like a Google Doc. So from that helps a lot.
okay, okay, yeah. So one suggestion is that like make a Google doc which is a collection of all the questions and revise them before the interview. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Uh, so next question is around HR questions. So which type of HR questions can be expected in the interview, and what is the most
yeah.
effective way to answer them?
Yeah, so HR questions, like you can search for them in the internet and then see a model answer. And according to the model answer, you can frame your answer on your own way. So the best thing that I did was I linked my hobby with uh, my hobby with the job role. So somehow I linked my hobby with the job role, that I am interested in this because my hobby is this. So I think that becomes very important, because the HR questions that are asked, they are all generic questions, okay, but they need to be answered in such a way that they must not feel like that you have prepared it beforehand, or the answer must not be a mechanical kind of stuff. It should come from within your mind, I feel. So like questions will be same, and the question set is already available. So prepare like a way that your answer will be unique to some point. Like some questions are common, like what is your strength, what is your weakness, or why, why data analyst and not anything else. So you must be prepared with a thing that you must be able to defend that why data analytics, and you must link it to somewhere related to your past or some hobby. Like for example, for my case, I linked it with my hobby. My hobby was cricket, and I linked it with I am a big viewer of cricket, and I am a lover of cricket. And in cricket, I find different teams use data to build plans against certain teams and players, and from there I linked with that my interest for data analytics, how it came. So yeah, I did that thing, so that helped me a lot, I think.
Okay, fine. So HR questions are always the same, but your answer should be unique and natural. That is your suggestion in very brief.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine. Moving forward, Subhadeep, you are part of Mass 101 batch. We work a lot for a couple of months, 6 to 8 months. So the viewers want to know, how did you come to know about my analytics school? Why you chose this program, and what was your experience with this program?
Yeah. So I came to know about mass from the IIT BHU students. So I am very active at LinkedIn, and there I found that from mass so many students got placed in analytics field, and I was searching for one which helps to prepare for data analytics. So from LinkedIn I got to know about mass, and from the students I took the feedback, and I got pretty good feedback from there. And coming to know, yeah, why did you choose it? Because at that point of time, I felt that I needed someone to hold my hand and make me prepare for the role that I wanted the most. And finally, after getting placed, and I feel that I'm lucky enough to have have the guidance of different seniors like Sajan and Aryan, and they have guided me a lot, I feel. And from starting from the tests and everything to the mock interviews, I feel the mock interviews helped me a lot to improve my communication skills. The GDs also helped me a lot to remove the fear of crowd and everything. And the confidence that I have built up gradually in my with my communication skills have come from the mock interviews that Sargent took, especially the mock guesstimates and mock cases that Sargent took were really of great help. Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's good to know you had a good experience with us. It always makes me happy that our previous students feel that yes, we were able to help them in some or other way. Next question: what advice would you give to someone who is considering joining MAS for a career in analytics?
Yeah. So the advice that I want to give is that follow the schedule properly. Like give the tests regularly at time. So tests, I feel that I couldn't utilize the tests more properly. So if I had utilized more properly, I could have cracked most of the company shortlist. So I feel I lagged there. And most importantly, what people ignore is the mock interviews. I want to stress upon this fact that please don't ignore the mock interviews and mock cases and mock guesstimates, because they are of great help, and you will understand this thing once you sit for the original interviews. Because if you stutter or get everything now, you will do these things near seniors who are taking mock interviews, then that is okay. Like, make the mistake at home and not at that main interview place. So this is the main thing I want to stress upon this. Because when you make mistakes near seniors like Sajan and Aryan, they are always there to correct you. But if you are making mistakes in a like main stage of the interview, then I think it hurts a lot. So
Okay,
yeah, please focus on giving mock interviews.
okay, fine. Okay, so this made me remember a quote from Abraham Lincoln. So whenever you are given a task to cut a tree, let's say you're given 9 hours of work, then spend 6 hours in making your axe better, uh, so that in 3 hours you can be able to cut the tree. So that's why practicing before the actual interview is much important. The point which you were stressing
Yeah.
upon.
And
One
failing before actual exam is also important, I feel.
Yes, exactly. Even you are interested in cricket, so people who practice a lot before the actual match perform better.
Mhm.
So yes,
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely.
One final question, which our viewers would like to know from you: what will be the roadmap for data analytics field? A brief roadmap which the students can follow.
Yeah. So a brief roadmap would be first initially prepare with MySQL, and then practice it thoroughly in Lead Code or HackerRank, whatever platform you choose, and then learn few tricks in My Excel, in Microsoft Excel, and then learn a bit of Python, and try to write some basic codes in Python, and be familiar with the libraries like Pandas and Matplotlib, and then study stats, and then study statistics thoroughly, and then study a bit of machine learning, and then after that do projects. And then projects are the main thing actually you can upload in your resume, and you can showcase that whatever skills you have. So projects are must. And then I would say try for internships, because internships play a huge role for this field. So internships is a must, I would say. First do the projects to showcase your skills and everything, and then apply for internships through LinkedIn or wherever. I applied through LinkedIn only, and I got all my internships through LinkedIn actually. So
Okay.
yeah, internships are must for this role, and then focus on case studies and guesstimates. Guesstimates are also very important that anyone must not ignore. Actually, guesstimates are very important. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a very brief roadmap from Subhadeep's side. Thanks again, Subhadeep, for joining this call and helping our viewers to enrich their knowledge in the domain. I hope you had a great career ahead with Navi and other companies which you will be joining in your career. All the best for your future endeavors. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you, Aryan. Thanks a lot.